did I talk to you about the Korean Airlines accident rate? Well, a few years ago, Korean Airlines had the highest accident rate. It's so bad that the FAA wanted to ban Korean Airlines from flying to America. It's so bad, actually. So they analyzed. So the president of Korean Airlines decided to get a consultant to come in, and the consultant analyzed why they failed the case. And each case of those 5 accidents, fatal accidents, they found out that the first officer, or the number 2, the cockpit, the captain, first officer, the first officer and the flight engineer, the number 3 guy in the cockpit, knew the captain was doing wrong. They knew, they were trying to tell the captain, you're doing wrong. You shouldn't land, we should abort the landing. But they wouldn't dare tell the captain to do that. Because in their culture, in Malay, Pati and Beta, huh? Just one there. In the Korean language, like Japanese, there are 5 layers of I and you. You know, not just Pati and Beta. There's first captain and captain this way. First captain and janitor this way. First captain and so because of that, they cannot learn. So when they hired the American consultant to come in, they said we have to change the Korean culture. And Mahathir Su also wanted to change Malay culture, but this American consultant was smart. He said, we can't change Korean culture. Who are we to change Korean culture? They got it for centuries. They got their own wisdom. So he said that we can't change the culture, but we can change the communication and attitude at work. So he makes a rule suggested the CEO of Korean Airlines. The language in the cockpit, once you enter the plane, the language in that plane is English. And his rationale was that aviation, English is the language of aviation. So once you enter the cockpit, you cannot speak Korean to each other. You must speak English, except when you make the public announcement in Korean. So now the captain and first officer is no longer Pati and Beta, it's I and you. And with that, they changed the attitude. So when we call our Sultan Pati and Beta, you're not just using different languages. You have put yourself in that situation. You say, like Niza said, Pati Momohon Derhaka. You know, I mean, it's awkward. But he says, look, I disagree with you, Sultan. You should dissolve parliament. Easy. But now when you start Pati and Beta, oh, how can I disagree with Pati? Yeah. And now, unfortunately, all the sultans are what? Board of directors of University of Malaya, board of it. And I have seen one of the meetings at the University of Malaya where Raja Muda was in charge. And these are all professors, senior professors. Raja Muda is there sitting. And once he says something, nobody criticizes. So for that situation, it's a hindrance. You know, because he should know that. I have great respect for Raja Nasri. He should know that in that situation you speak English to avoid that. But the moment he said, Beta tak setuju, therefore I agree. I disagree, yeah? So if you're in a position of power, the same thing you should be aware of that. But the Raja will never do that. When I was a professor at University of Kebangsaan, I purposely tell my students, I purposely make mistakes in class break the barrier that the professor doesn't know everything. And sometimes I'm very difficult. I make so obvious mistakes that they all look chingang. And I keep repeating it. And so until somebody is brave enough, but didn't you say something else wrong something else yesterday? And then I pretend that I made a mistake, a slip of the tongue. And then from then on, people, they get used to criticizing me.
You must learn to destroy the negative or the destructive forces in culture, any culture. Because the Malay culture is something that brings you in a position, puts you in a position where you have to be subservient to others' thinking. Because we are all human beings are not born to be subservient to others. We are born free. You know, it's structures and systems and things that people elevate other human beings to the level that they have to be subservient to or they have to be more powerful than others. That is all human construct. The revolution must begin in the mind first, to reject, expunge everything. Ask the question, why do I have to respect the children of this or that, royal family with what they do is nothing even close to what a human being can do, or should behave. You know, if life is spent wasting money in party and also beating people up, why should I respect? So that's the attitude that we need to have. If more people learn to reject all these things, and there will be a critical mass of people, then we can do so many things with raising consciousness and changing perception to the point that, you know, you will have the ability to speak your mind, you know, with rational arguments and not be persecuted. Here, you cannot even talk bad about certain things, even use a certain pronoun, ways to address this and that. That itself is disrespectful. There must be something wrong with the way our society has evolved. Right? So you know the history of so many things, not just kings in Malaysia, but also in other countries. So
I think that for a certain extent, probably like these languages, like you give respect. For example, in Malay, when you have like a ceremony today, you will say Tan Sri Tan Sri, Dato Dato, right? You will give respect. You will name all the VIPs and stuff like that. But in English, it's just like good evening. So it's very simple. But the problem is sometimes that I see like in America, the Americans, they have less respect towards the elders. Like for example, in class, I would see sometimes Americans putting their legs on the table when the professor is teaching. So I don't know, I feel like it's kind of disrespectful, but probably in a Malay culture you will not do something like that. But I think too much of Malay culture, and when you give so much of respect until you put yourself like a different level, is not so good. But for the American system, if you put something level where you put like an elder person you hardly respect, you treat like a friend, not sometimes you get pushed around. I feel like you can't be extreme both sides. Probably somewhere in the middle should be something good. I don't know. That's my opinion.
It's a very complex thing that you're saying. Americans put their feet. They say that, well, as long as I'm not hurting others, is it bothering your head?
Just not me looking at Sultan eye to eye. You know, to my mother, that's insulting. But to me, that's how you engage. When I talk to him, energetically, when I talk to you, naturally you look in the eye, right?
Yeah.
But when only I think, oh, no, you are a Sultan, I can't look in the eye. You know, that's only that. But in Americans, it's natural for them to be comfortable like this.
No. What I mean, they put their feet on the table. You know, like, they put but when they are sitting in front and the professor is in front, I feel like awkward. Yeah, it's like you don't respect the professor or what?
When I went back to Malaysia, one of my colleagues pointed out to me, because I've been so long abroad, when I come to my office, I put my feet like this. Yeah. And somebody knocked on the door, my colleague said, "Come in." And I said, "Bakri, you can't do that in Malaysia." That's right, you're right. But to me, that's not an insult. I say I've been standing up 12 hours in the operating room. I need to put my feet up. But I was sensitive, so I put my foot down.
You know what I do in class when they come in? Beginning of semester, probably students will be, the laptop will be open, and then their Blueberry, Blackberry, Burberry, whatever. Right? So they'll be sitting like this. So we go around and say that, okay. First of all, before we begin class, I would like all the things close your laptop. If you're taking notes, use your notebook. If you're having all these things, put it in your bag, switch off your phone, and once in a while, if I see people keeping their feet, I would give a dirty look. If it's a high school student, I would just ask them. So, and then I put everyone in a circle like this, so that I can dance around in the middle, lecture and listen. But you have to impose what you feel. That to me, there's some things that that we need to do in order to create that atmosphere. Even if the one wants to sit like this, but you cannot stop people from going in and out of the classroom to go to the bathroom. That is not considered disrespectful. What if he or she has a bowel problem? So these are the things, and that's something that we need to understand, learn about difference in cultural, and everything has to be translated into perception.